Hi everybody, my name is Luboš Svoboda and I'm from the Czech Web Archive of National Library of the Czech Republic. I am here today with my colleague Petra and Zdenko, and we will give you some basic overview of our web archiving practice. Our web archive started in the year 2000. It was originally a project where three institutions together in collaboration: National Library, Moravian Library, and Masaryk University. The oldest website in our archive is from the year 2001. And then from the year 2005, we start harvesting websites on the regular basis. In 2007, we joined the IIPC International Internet Preservation Consortium. Web Archive holds more than 400 terabytes of archive data, more than 9 billion digital objects, text, images, audio, video objects, etc. Our team is quite small. We have 3 full-time employees in the office, plus one job position dedicated to technical support, which is shared with another digital departments. In our archive also have more than 30 topical collections and 1.4 billion seats. According to the legal issues, we are facing to the challenges how to deal with the Czech law here, because Czech law doesn't count with the digital born documents. So the main part of our archive is accessible only from the terminal on the ground of the National Library. Free online access is provided only for sources which are published by Creative Commons, or our curators made contracts with the publishers. The total number of the online free accessible archive websites is 0.4% of the whole archive we have. Here you can see the screenshot of a page from our in-house software, Cedar. Cedar is our curator tool. It's actually a catalog of our web sources, list of publishers, etc. Here you can see the page where we are able to manage all the contracts with the publishers. You can filter the contracts with state or date when they were created. There is also archive. There's also notes about some negotiations, etc. Here you can see another page from our Cedar software, especially the page where curator setting up the harvest. So it's necessary to put a title, annotation there, set the frequency, and upload the list of seeds. The Cedar is not automated fully yet, so the setup harvest goes into the shared calendar, where the harvest operator can see it and then configure the crawler and start the harvesting. You can see also on the left in the menu what other functions are in a Cedar. There are a list of publishers, contracts. There are also a quality assurance page which is done manually. Also, you can manage your topic collections here and some other functions. According to collection policy, we have three main approaches. It's a comprehensive harvest, selective harvest, and topic collections. The comprehensive harvest, it's the huge one. There's 1.4 million of second order domains in collaboration with the Czech domain provider CZNIC. It's done once or twice per year, and it's limited by files per site. The second one is selective harvest. It's more curatorial approach, the selective approach by bohemical character, which is defined by territorial language, authorship, topic, and content. Because we also in our archive has websites on other than CZ domain in different languages, but within the Czech context. The selective harvests are much deeper than the comprehensive one, and also the selective harvests are also done in collaboration, for example, with Czech literature of Czech Academy of Sciences. That's one of the recent projects. We archived many websites from the field of literature, literary blogs, literary critics, etc. for the database for Czech literary scientists. The last one is topic collection. It's the collection of resources related to certain like current event or topic. It's for example, the current events nowadays. It's some kind of natural accident, the floods, or some political events. For example, the last one was Vrbětice. Now we are archiving the events around our president and election. Also, we collaborate with IPC. The topic collections we participate was climate change, Olympics, and COVID. Here you can see a short list of some another recent topic collection, which you can access on our website and download the sheets in Excel or CSV format. Also, this in the last year we start manual harvesting. It's done by the software Web Recorder, especially the archive web page Chrome extension and the Browsertrix software. The manual harvests are really important to capture the social networks and dynamic websites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, YouTube, etc., which is not possible to capture by our main automated crawler, Heretics. More about it, Zdenko and Petra. Here you can see the Browsertrix is much like a coder-centric tool. On the left side, it's terminal. On the right side, you can see live the crawling process. You can set up how many workers you want. Here, this the most user-centric tool. It's the Chrome extension. It's really easy. Just push the play button. I really like this software. That's really like for everybody, and everybody can archive what he wants. There's setup of behaviors. There's endless scroll. It's really easy. Here you can see that this is possible with the software. Capture really complex sites. For example, this is some virtual exhibition. Few notes about the user-generated content on our website. On our website, we have a small form, Let's Get Web Archive, where everybody can nominate the website you want as a publisher or as a fan of the website. And then our curators get in touch with him or her and explain the Creative Commons thing and make contract, etc. Also, I run a blog. It's called 10 Website for Eternity. It's like a project where I ask people from the various fields, from the graphic designers or environmentalists or people from the literature field, and ask them to nominate 10 websites which they really like from the field where they work, and then I put the website on special topic collection, and the websites are archived. Okay, that's it. That's it for me. And now I'm gonna pass word on Zdenko and Petra, and they can tell you some more about the technical aspects of our workflow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next slide. I'm Zdenko Lozar, Director of ICT Operation in National Library. I began before in Web Archive as a technical support. And with me is our current technical support, Petra Habietinova. Next slide. When we run the Web Archive from the point of view of the IT, there are some key issues which you need to decide and how to manage it effectively and somehow made equilibrium between demand, supply, and actual price behind the Web Archive, because the operation of Web Archive is rather big than small, actually. There is absorption capacity each year, so actually we could say the storage capacity, but not only this. Then you need to tackle with the polite scraping, because you could get a scraper ban and then you will not have possibility to crawl the important pages. So you need to do it very polite, in a very good way, because the machinery behind Web Archive is so big that you actually could shut down the bigger providers in the domain. Then there are questions about the reliable archiving and deduplication. It's very important question when you say how the data will deduplicate. And so you are saving the storage. However, then you are growing the problems with reliable archiving and also the long-term protection. There is also the question with the optimization and quality analysis with the as much as possible automatically when you are doing the million pages. It by the hand, it's quite a complex thing. Then you have the most important questions are sufficient personal capacities from your organization, which you have available to support the operation. And there are also the questions with legal depot, with the possible how to present the data, to who to present the data, who has the sufficient rights, and who has the sufficient rights to extract the data from Web Archive. And there are a lot of legal questions with this. Next slide. Yep. From the statistical point of view, we have actually 400 terabytes of data. Acquisition is approximately 30 to 50 terabytes by last 5 years. This year we have 23 terabytes so far. And we didn't done the comprehensive crawl, so we are expecting around 40 terabytes and more this year. Then we have the the statistically daily crawls are around like 200 gigabytes till 40 gigabytes. Monthly crawls are for the serials and topics. Serials are around 4 terabytes at the beginning of the year. In the end of the year or in the closing months, it's around like 700, 600 or less, maybe with the deduplication. Topics are half of this quantity. Once and twice a year, we realize the totals, which is comprehensive harvest, and it's anywhere between 30 terabytes till 15 terabytes with no deduplications. And it really depends on the staff capacity and the capacity of infrastructure when we run this. Next slide. Key technologies and principles. We use virtualization of the servers via VMware. We use hierarchical storage with Spectrum Protect and Tivoli storage management, which provides us bitstream protection. There is important also to set up the networking policies, which are very important because Web Archive has a really big demand on the networking resources, and there are also absorption capacities of the different networking layers. And then also when you want to do Web Archive, you need a bunch or the quantity of crawlers. We actually have 20 crawlers, which are rather big, but in the next few years, we want to go for the smaller dimensioned crawlers, which are based on Dockerization, and we could operate them few thousands of them. Thank you. Next slide, and Petra, it's your time.
Thank you. I would like to briefly introduce softwares which we are using and how to install them. Czech Web Archive runs Harvest on version 3.4.0 of Heritrix. To install WebCrawl Heritrix, there are very few requirements needed, such as Linux distribution and Java 8 or 11. We have Heritrix installed on CentOS 8. Installation of Heritrix is relatively simple. First, you download and unzip the latest distribution package, then set some environment variables, and the final step is to launch web user interface using command you can see on the slide. User interface is located at localhost on port 8443. All of these steps are well described in the official documentation. With Heritrix installed, you can crawl your selected websites. Output of this crawl will be work files and some log and report files. To view this work file, you will need some replaying application. Czech Web Archive has OpenWayback. OpenWayback is Java application developed by Internet Archive. It is used to play back archive website crawled by Heritrix. For our Web Archive, we are using version 2.3.2. To install OpenWayback on your server, you need Java at least 1.7 and Apache Tomcat version 6.0 or higher. Personally, I would recommend Apache Tomcat lower than 10, which is the latest version. Very descriptive installation guide is at OpenWayback GitHub page, and the installation itself is just about replacing Tomcat root folder with OpenWayback web application file. After successful installation, user interface of OpenWayback can be accessed via localhost on port 8080 Wayback. It is important to mention that OpenWayback is no longer under active development, and it is recommended by International Internet Preservation Consortium to use Python toolkit PyWB. Please, next slide. PyWB is Python web archiving tool for replaying web archives. It is officially recommended that PyWB should be used with server application UWSGI, Web Server Nginx, and index server Outback CDX. During this year, we started to experiment with PyWB. Because PyWB is Python package, we install it inside a virtual environment on our testing server and then use UWSJ, and with Nginx as recommended. With PyWB, we are just at the beginning. For now, we are testing it only on small web archives without index server. Next year, we are hoping to migrate all of our index to the newest form called CDXJ, which PyWB is using, and start to use index server Outback CDX. We found that customization of user interface of PyWB is really easy, and there are implemented many useful functionalities which are very easy to maintain. For example, access control or embargo. Now I would like to briefly introduce technical implementation of Cedar application. As it was already mentioned by Luboš, Cedar is Czech web archiving curator tool. Cedar is still under constant development. It is open source project and you can find it on GitHub. It runs inside Docker containers and therefore it can be installed by Docker Compose. Our developers are using Jenkins server for building, testing, and deploying Cedar. That's all from me, and I think Zdenko would like to continue with centralized interface.
Yeah, thank you. So just briefly, this is actually our research and development flagship. It's the project which we began in 2018. And we want to introduce a new technology to our hierarchical storage, change paradigm from the hierarchical storage to object storage. We have 6 new servers for this. It is counted rather as a proof of case, where we will test it on the 1/10 of the capacity of Web Archive, and then we will see if we introduce it in all Web Archive. Its landmark, its important things is that it has high fault tolerance, and it is much better performance than basic hierarchical storage which we had. We introduced also data mining and categorization and topic modeling things to the workflow. When we want to extract from Vark the text, we remove the boilerplate and we extract also the name entities. We extract links and wrap them into intermediary format, which is sent to the HBase. And from the HBase, it began the indexation, and you could use also the Spark to question the things. The important thing is also that we use machine learning to the topic modeling and categorization of each website. So now we are not doing just the manual indexation of the 10,000 pages which are done by the curators, but we use our technology to extend it to more than 4 million pages, which we already have. Then you could do also network analysis and create the collections, which will be next provided by the scientist. You have the discovery user phase where you could use the filtration via different facets. You could use the collections, and you could do exportation on your specified demand. There is kind of advanced combinations which you could use to really target your data. Then there is also REST API, which you could use with the Jupyter Notebook and the programming languages like Java, Python, Scala, R to analyze the data which are exported and get very important things for your next data research. Next slide. Here you could see just the visualization of our continuous campaign of Czech media. It runs almost all the year, just with a few breaks, and each day, like few times a day, we crawl the Czech media to get the recent content. And the continuous campaign is kind of new thing, but we want to establish it really well also on other things like COVID and other events which are really run fastly. during just few days could change the domain completely. Next slide. Thank you very much from me, and also from Petra and from Luboš.